Hello and welcome to part 2 of the prepping video for the big flood. In the last episode, which you can watch here, if I bother to put the link up in the video, you can watch part 1. We were working on some flood defenses because the next, not this flood, but the flood after this is going to be the 1 in 100 year flood. So I've been doing some modifications to the flood defense of the city. And now we're having a sort of moderate flood in this video. Well, it's moderate to severe flooding that will kind of test this new flood defense out and see how it all works. And we can do some tweaking if we find there are some problem areas, even though the flood after this is going to be much worse. But let's get back into things. So while we're waiting for the floodwaters to rise, we do have some residential demands, so I think that's what I'm going to do, is create a little bit more of a residential area. Seems like my commercial problems have ceased, and there are a bunch of abandoned buildings, and somebody did mention why I didn't get the mod that demolishes abandoned buildings, but I thought, but then it kind of defeats the purpose of having abandoned buildings in the game, because then they just get automatically demolished, and you can't look at all the nice abandoned buildings in your city or something. Yeah, I know it's flimsy logic, but they'll get torn down and replaced eventually. I'll just have to deal with all these little pulsating icons in the meantime. Pulse, 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 pulse. It's like an erection. So where am I going to make this new residential area? I think maybe I'll build something in here. This looks like a nice little area that we can use. But what am I going to do for the roadways? I might make a bridge that goes over from this area. We've got... I might just do a slim 4-lane road that will go through here and then across here via a bridge. But I also want to have an exit from the main highway that goes into that area, because it would be kind of a pain for if everybody had to drive down here and then up here. It has to be accessible from the highway. So, well, first I'm going to do the 4-lane road. We'll just upgrade this intersection to go up through here. And am I on the right road? Yeah, I am. This. Ta-da! And I think I'll make it turn this way, and then I'm going to switch it to the straight. Except I'm going to turn that off so I can do it how I want it. And then that can go up through the center, and that'll connect with the main road coming off of the highway. Actually, what I should just do first is extend... Oh, I can't do that, I guess because of the flood thingamajig. I'm not very picky with doing water piping. I'm usually pretty quick and dirty when it comes to laying down my water. Not very concerned with efficiency or how evenly it's covered. I just really don't care. But let's just get all this down so I don't have to worry about it later. Actually, I think I'll have another way of getting into here. I'll make a road that goes up along the river and goes under here. This highway that can then connect up here, so people can just drive directly from this neighborhood across here into the new area. Now I think I'll put my exit right here, and then it can come in and connect to there. I wonder what kind of... I guess I'm just going to do a basic, usual kind of exit like this one right here. Nothing too fancy. Okay, so I've put down the basic main roads. We've made this exit. and that'll be the sort of skeleton roadway of our new area. The flooding has started to the waters have started raising. The Omar diversion or spillway is working as it usually does. The water is getting a little bit up on this flood wall and on this one. This one will work much better than the previous dike that I had here. Oh no, it's a fire. Oh well. I'm sure someone will deal with it. Now, somebody mentioned dredging the river for increased flood protection, but I don't think I'm able to do that because I pretty much went down to the maximum depth you can go with this river. I'll double check though. Might be ahem. No, it's the lowest it can go, so I can't do any dredging. Other people have mentioned widening the river, and I have thought about that. I might do that on the Asinine River, maybe possibly right here. I could probably make it a bit wider here, but I'm not convinced it would really help all that much. But maybe it would. I don't know. I'm not a flood expert. Now, before I start making a new neighborhood, I think I'm just going to lay out a new district area that I'll name. That will go up through here, and I guess you don't need to watch me filling in a bunch of crap. So, jump cut. Here we go, all filled in. Now, I think we'll name this area after one of our dead people. Who should we name it for? Who's on the resurrection list? Who died in the last episode? Let's name it after AJ Murphy because he's dead. AJ Murphy District, or the Murphy District. That works. Sounds a bit more districty. Or Murphy Park. Perfect. Oh, look at that sad face. Such a sad face. I guess that's because there's nothing there. Nicotine. Okay. Now let's... I think I'll make one sort of bigger road like this that'll go up the middle here. And then we'll do the rest as the smaller roads like this. Old street lamp. That should work well. Let's go from here and then... No, that's not... I don't like that. I don't like that. Has to go further. Has to go further. There we go. That's reasonable. This is sort of a particular area. I'm not going to do anything fancy, just your usual... Actually, I should make it a bit further down so I have room for some flood wall or something. I screwed that up. No, that's not what I want. I want this. Down like so. And now I'll leave it like that so I have room. And I think I'll just chop off the end of this here. Now, I think I may have a little bit of commercial in the center here, and then we'll have housing towards the other ends. And I'll do some of these roads out this way. I think I'll do two like that. And then we'll go across with two smaller roads like... Actually, maybe I'll do one-ways. I'll do one-way going up. And then another one-way like this going down. That should work out fine. Make sure we're all watered. I guess I should get some electricity. That's sort of a thing that people like in the 21st century. And that should be good there, hopefully. And now that I did all that, my residential demand's gone back down to pretty much nothing. So now I've put down the basic services, except I still think I need to put down a firehouse. That should be good. Police, who needs police? Fuck them. I'm joking. I do appreciate, I value the presence of our law enforcement personnel. But, I'm Canadian, so I guess it's not quite as bad as it may otherwise be. Racy. Oh, now we'll call this A.J. Murphy High School. A.J. Murphy High School. Since this is your area, and I'm just going to start by putting down some residential over here, and we'll fill in the rest as the demand sees fit to do so. Do people really want to see this? Do people really want to see me plopping down zoning? I just never thought it was very interesting. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do commercial there, but I have no commercial demand, so I guess this will just be a really empty area for now. Except I'm going to have to get power over here because I hate electricity when you haven't filled in an area yet, so you end up having to make ugly poles that go to the areas in the middle of what is eventually going to be built in, and then you have to delete them later because it's obnoxious. Now, I know I said I was going to do this yesterday, but I kind of had stuff yesterday. And it was my birthday, so, that's my excuse. But here we are today. The flooding has started to ramp up. It is getting a little bit higher on this flood wall. So our new defenses are working quite well. This little sort of leisure area is flooded out as usual, but I don't really care all that much, and the commercial area is pretty high in this area, so I don't think I have to worry about it quite as much. This vulnerable area, which is quite low, is now a lot better off now that there's a proper flood wall, as is this neighborhood, which for the first time during a flood is actually dry. As you can see by the fact that all these houses are relatively low value houses because they keep getting flooded out versus these ones which are quite high. And the Somers residence is still here. It still exists even though it's been flooded out twice. Of course, he's long dead. Or I think it's actually Summers. I have a sneaky suspicion that Omar and Orlando are the same person. Just putting it out there. Just a little sneaking suspicion. I don't know. It's just my gut feeling. That's okay. We can have twins. Just a feeling. Now, this new highway that I built in a previous episode, I believe it was the last one. I mean, not the part one of this one, but the last video by itself, is working quite nicely now. This speeds things up quite a bit. I was a bit worried about these exits because usually these exits aren't quite, they don't work quite as well as something like this where you have traffic can just go straight onto the roads. Here you actually have to have traffic lights usually, and they have to stop, and sometimes it can get pretty jammed up. But this seems to be working because we have two and relatively close together, so the traffic exiting can be distributed between the two of them. This highway, which goes down into the south of the big district. Where does this tunnel come? Oh, it comes out right here. Okay. And then we have, I wonder how, there's that new industrial area that we started up. And it looks like this single lane highway is still working quite nicely. So we don't have to upgrade that yet, even though this industrial area is quite built up. And then we have this neighborhood. Oh, and we also made this new, I think we made this in part one, is this new train line between this neighborhood and I'm curious to see how many people are actually on this train. Nobody. Is there anybody actually waiting at the station? Nope. Although I just built it, and sometimes it takes some time before people start really using a new transit. How high is water here? Pretty high. Seen worse, but this flood is a 0.75, I think, which is moderate to severe. The worst flood we've had so far is a 9.7, I think, or a 0.97. Next one is going to be a 1.45. The maximum is 2, which we'll see eventually. Now the spillway is working quite nicely like it has been in the previous floods. It's diverting this water down to the Insane River, which is then diverting it down here. The creek area here is filling up. I do have this little dam here, so it will fill up to a certain level before it actually starts diverting, because I want priority for this channel to be given for diverting water from here when it overflows. Even though by the time that dike overflows, that thing will probably be overflowing anyways, so it probably doesn't matter whatsoever. This area is doing quite nicely. Traffic isn't too bad. Actually, I should check traffic. A little bit jammed up here, but I can deal with. Yeah, traffic's actually not bad around here. Hell a lot better than Vancouver. Now, we do have some industrial demand, so I think what I'm going to do is actually make that or industrial area that I had planned to originally before I forgot and made it as just regular manufacturing. I'm not going to do a big one. I'm just going to do it here off of this highway. I'll start off with 3 blocks. Actually, I'll start out with just 2, and then we'll see how it goes. To our water up there, and we'll just connect it down here. Except actually connect it rather than just not connect it. Riveting commentary. And just go like this. Or industry complete. Actually, I'm just gonna put this. I'll put a little firehouse, because these damn industrial areas always burn down. I should probably make one up here. I'll do a big one up here. Alright, let's see how that goes. This area is starting to build up a bit. I sort of decided to ditch the whole idea of having commercial down here. I'm just going to do high density residential in the middle here. And I might also put some office space just down here at the bottom, because that usually doesn't bother residential areas like commercial does. And I'll try putting in 1 block of low density up here and see how that starts out, because I don't really have a whole lot of residential demands. So, and maybe I'll actually put a cop shop in here. Do I? Where's that coming from anyways? Where's the next police station? Pretty far away. Oh well. Well, let's just put one here. On the corner, right here. Nice. Wonder what our education's like. We've got enough elementary, a little bit low on high schools. Where can I put another high school? Is this? I guess I could shove one right. Oh no, there is one there already. Let's put it here. Where here, though? Oh, let's just put it here. And how's university? We've got lots of university, so we're good. I wonder how the flooding is. Doesn't seem to have gone up that much. I mean, I'm not expecting anything crazy this flood. It's mainly just a test for the systems that I've constructed so far. Still got lots of play on this wall, not even touching the wall up here. So I'm thinking that this system should work pretty well in the big flood. This bridge might run into some problems. I have a feeling it's going to get flooded out. The only thing I'm worried about is if the water starts overflowing the spillway up here. I could make the flood wall longer, but then I'd run into problems trying to connect to this bridge to this intersection right here. I'd basically have to demolish this connection, and they would have to connect further down here. And I don't want to do that, so we'll just risk it. Without risk, we wouldn't get anything interesting happening anyways. Now that we have a bit of a lull in demand, let's check up on our citizens. Bob Teague is still alive at a ripe old age of 75. Retired. Currently going to the company. How vague. Let's see where he is right now. Looks like he's getting onto the train. Looked like he was riding a Segway or something. I suppose that's an adequate old people form of transportation, Segway. Is he getting on the train? Not yet. Just waiting at this platform. Oh, you might get on this one. There you go. We're on the train. Let's follow old Bob, Mr. Teague, down the train. Except it's going to go underground, so it's not like we're going to be able to see it anyways. Who else? Master Chief, 42 years old, still working at the Giga Store. Currently visiting the supermarket. One of our new troll face, a good old troll face, the sauna worker. What do you even do in a sauna? What do you do working in a sauna other than, like, secretary? You're a secretary. That's a highly educated secretary. Maybe you're like the CEO or something. CEO of a sauna. That's an interesting one. Georgian Empire, you're going to the fashion shop. Or you've arrived at the fashion shop. What about me, the female version of me who works at the Oran Summers Remembrance thing to remember the contributions that he made on our Oran spillway? Currently traveling... Oh no, that's Bob Teague. I'm waiting at a bus stop. Fun. Sean Gambrill, the boy, now 17 years old, in high school, currently studying. And everybody else is doing other stuff. Cool. Now, I'm sort of wondering what kind of games to do lately. You guys should say in the comments what games you'd like to see. I've been wanting to do some more Armored Warfare and War Thunder and stuff, but I just haven't. I'm starting to get a craving to play that stuff again. I just haven't been a bit tired of tank games. What are some other games I like? I want to do some more Elite Dangerous. The only problem, I wanted to do some more Elite Dangerous. I want to do some more of that DCS World series, but I'm having some problems with the drivers for my joystick, so that's why I haven't really been doing that lately. My joystick, it's the Satec X52, I believe, and there's kind of a weird glitch where for some reason my computer won't recognize it, and I have to do this trick in order to make it recognize it again. Except the last time I did it, it ended up making it so I couldn't start my computer. It would just blue screen of death every time I tried to boot, so I had to reverse it, and I haven't gone to try and fix that yet. So that's why I haven't done any Elite Dangerous or DCS World, or I haven't done not Space Engineers, although that might be a fun one to do. Star Citizen. I haven't done Star Citizen in quite a while, but that's mainly because they haven't really done a whole lot of updates and pretty much covered everything you can currently do in Star Citizen in videos. So I haven't really seen much point in doing some more, but if you'd like to see that, let me know. I do like Star Citizen. And that's probably a game that I'm going to be playing an absolute ton on this channel when it comes out, because I am one of those people. Also going to be definitely doing some more Stellaris, so if you're subscribed to this channel and I do upload a Stellaris video, actually watch it, please. Please. Okay, now the floodwaters are getting pretty high on this portion of the flood wall right now. I wonder how much higher the big flood's going to be, because it could end up getting pretty high on this wall. It's pretty high here, not so bad going down here, and then perfectly fine up here. This little area is flooded out like always, but that's fine because it doesn't really matter. And up here, not too bad there. Spillway's working perfectly fine. The Omar spillway, and then we have the Orlando spillway here, which isn't really doing anything because it hasn't gone over that first dike yet. This is probably the most comprehensive flood system in the city because it's protecting the most vulnerable area, because this is the I think this is the lowest area in the city. It's sort of, there's a low area that comes down here, and then there's a big bowl here. So if that flood wall failed, then this whole area would flood out. Here we have the McDole building. I wonder what old Richard McDole's doing. Working at the McDole building. What a shocker. Okay, so now I think I'm going to delete the flood because it'll take quite a while before it actually goes down again. Doesn't mean it's going to not stop going up. Oh, looks like we have a fire station without water. That's sort of a problem, isn't it? I wonder how our water is. Water availability is getting a bit low, but it's still in the green. Electricity is perfectly fine. Maybe we will do something about that. We'll add a new water pump. What's this blank tab? Oh, a water pump kind of thing. Where are we going to put you? Let's put it here. We'll make a couple. No pollution here, so that won't be an issue, because I think I've replaced all of my sewage drainage with clean, land-based water treatment plants, except for a couple towards the bottom of the river. This must raise up to go over here. There we go. More water. Water for everyone. Because it's not like we have any lack of water around here. Intersection, intersection. People at an intersection. Suppose we should take one last look at our viewer citizens before the end of the episode. Seems like everybody's either at home or working. Bob Teague is still alive at a ripe old age of 78, retired, living in the Wood residence. I believe he's lived here all along in a large district. Is that? Yeah, I think that he's in Sir Seals Park. We've got Richard McDole currently still at work at the McDole building, right down near the Summers buildings for Oran Summers and Orlando Summers. The twin Summers. Space Magistry works at a busy corner shop, highly educated, currently working. Margada Maria, living at the Briarwood residence in the suburbs of this area. Chapala Gaming, uneducated, 16-year-old boy in high school. I suppose he's getting educated. Lives at the Garland residence, which is over in one of the old areas of the city. Don't think we've had any deaths between this part 1 and part 2, which is surprising. Usually people just die like cockroaches. That's not flies. That's the one. That's the insect I'm thinking of. Alright, so floodwaters have gone back down to almost their normal levels, back down on the flood walls. Our leisure area is almost not flooded. Just have this little tiny bit of road still flooded. So I think on that note, we will call it a video. Now, don't forget, the next one is going to be the 1 in 100 year flood, so it's going to be a big one. I'm probably going to do an episode of Stellaris and maybe something else before that, but stay tuned for that because that's going to be a big one. So on that note, after a successful test of our new flood defenses, I suppose we'll call it a day. Have a good one.